Hey, it's Mercy on How to Survive. Sorry it's been a while, I've been sick, and then it wasn't going away, and then I kind of felt really lousy, but I'm back, and I'll try to be at a perfect energetic rate when I'm doing this. So anyway, I decided to do How to Survive Friendships, because I think definitely a lot of us, not majority of us, but some of us kind of struggle with keeping friendships. You're either like a loner, you're alone. I think it's really hard because a really good friendship is giving and taking, just like a relationship in some senses. But you know, it's different because you're not as close as you would be in like an actual relationship when you're dating someone in that senses. But I think the majority of friendships is that you are gonna go over certain problems, things are gonna happen. The whole point is, like, if a lot of bad stuff keeps happening, you kind of have to realize, like, do I want this? How much do I value this friendship? How much do they value me? Is it more one-sided on one side? Are we both really being good friends? And I think that's a really important thing to take into mind, because I have had friends that have come and go, and currently, like, I look back and I'm like, wow, I used to be friends with these people and I'm not, and it kind of sucks. And I think on YouTube it's different because online friendships are way different, you know, you're not gonna have as much drama unless someone starts spreading. I mean, I think you can have drama, but in some senses, for me, basically, I haven't had any like internet drama in that content. But I have like talked to people I've known in real life over the internet, and then yeah, stuff has got like kind of dramatic-ish, like, you know, it's just a form of communication in that senses. Instead of actually getting to talk to them in person, you just talk to them online, you solve your problems there, and they see each other in person, and it's all good again. I think it's talking to someone about, like, you know, if you have an issue with someone, should you really talk to them or do it online? I think it really depends. Like, it's harder to do it in person because you're not really going to be able to say, like, if you're a really quiet person and you really want to speak more of your mind, it's going to be hard to really say all this stuff to someone in, like, person. It's easier to just type when you're thinking. But the whole point is you can go overboard, because I feel like online you can go more over the top because it's easier. And I think if you're, like, mad about something, it should honestly be, there should be a good reason behind why you're mad, and you know what you're fighting for, what you're upset about, what they did, what this whole scenario is about, even to start off with. And I think the whole point is, after having all these friendships, the ones that are really going to work in the end are the ones you're still going to be friends with down the road when you're like an adult, in adulthood, besides being a teenager, that whole thing. I think it's good to keep friends from high school. I mean, I personally am still in high school, but I'm almost done, and it really depends. I think if someone's meant to be your friend, they will still be your friend. I have had, like, a friend who left, and it sucks because we do not see each other anymore, and they don't have any form of communication, and I think in the end our friendship kind of ended, and I realized that then, and it kind of sucked. But in real honesty, I think you're good if you have at least one good friendship, and the only problem is, if you should have a wide range of friends, like, in some terms. Like, you shouldn't have, like, just one best friend, even though it's a good thing to have, you know, you're like, you feel more special that way. Because what if your friend has, like, a bunch of friends, and then you're just, like, counting on them, but they're busy, that kind of gist? Or you really want both of the people in the friendship to be like, yeah, you're my best friend, that kind of thing. Because otherwise, like I said before, it's one-sided, and it's still okay, can function, but there are going to be moments where you're like, oh, okay, I get it, you know, you have other friends too. And having a lot of friends, I think the thing is, if you have problems with one friend and you don't have that many people, then who are you really going to talk to? Like, if your family, not that close to your family, or, you know, you're not living with them, or they just don't really, you're not that kind of family, in senses that you don't talk to them about everything, you know, that kind of relationship with your parents. Like, you could, which would be a good thing, or maybe you just don't want to talk because it's your life and you don't really feel comfortable. I mean, you always should try to have someone you can talk to, and I've had that problem. Like, it's hard sometimes because you're like, oh crap, what do I do? Like, my life is just falling apart right now. And things do get better. If you're in a scenario like this, I mean, it's really hard to pinpoint scenarios because there's so many friendship problems. Someone can be like, oh, you know, you talked to so-and-so, I didn't like that, or, well, no, maybe not like that, but, the majority of things, you know, it's just, maybe it's something they did and it upset you, and there was a valid reason. I mean, sometimes I think some fights that are really stupid to have, like, why are you mad at me because of this? And I think it's bad also to compare. People do not like being compared to your other friends, and I've not really done that. Like, I think my friend kind of thought I did that for a little bit, but the whole point of me wasn't. I was just kind of being like, don't be like that. You know what I mean? Like, in that sense, I'm telling them, can you not do what they did and, like, not ditch me and, like, leave me? Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's just like, you know how much I, like, hated that, so why are you doing this right now? It was kind of that scenario. I mean, scenarios have been very different, and some problems are going to be really, it's majority of time is if you can pass through them and forget them and they don't happen again, then you're good. But if something keeps happening, then you kind of are in a toxic friendship where it's not going to end well. And I think especially with high school, it's hard to make really good friends because you kind of are forced to be with these people, this group of people. And in adulthood, you're going to have more people that has stuff in common with you. It can also be different too. It really doesn't matter as long as you have something to talk about. And, I mean, more likely when you get a job and stuff, if you make friends, it'll be more friends that, you know, they care, you'll have work to talk about, you know, that whole thing, you had, like, something in common, and especially with college, too, I think, even though I haven't experienced that, it really depends where you go, the people you end up with. And I've realized also because of, like, if you go to a school and you want to, like, date someone, right? It's not going to be the easiest thing if, say you have a particular type, and there's no one of that type at your school. I don't mean necessarily, like, race or, like, ethnicity, but I think everyone has a type, and it's not their fault. Like, I mean, we're not all meant to be compatible with every single person there is on, like, the universe, because that's kind of, I mean, we could technically reproduce with, like, any other person of the opposite gender in that sense, but it doesn't mean we're a pair, a match, a soulmate. Like, that kind of defeats the whole purpose, and that thing exists. Like, maybe we don't have exactly a soulmate, but there is someone that's really compatible with us, and it's our goal to kind of find them. And I guess that kind of is another type of friendship relationship, because you do end up dating someone in that context. But anyways, so for friendships, I mean, the scenarios can be different. As long as you can work it out in the end, it should be fine. If something keeps happening, it's not a good idea to stay in the friendship. And yeah, that's how to survive friendships. So yeah, see you guys next time with Mercy.